Okay, so let's walk through what we have on our signal chain or our mixer. First, what is a signal chain? The signal chain, or the path that the signal goes through, is from the input to the output, basically. Now, what this means is if you have a microphone, like what I'm talking through now, that can go to a stage box or directly into a mixer. That goes to a high Z button, or maybe it's not a combo input and there's a line. I'll talk more about all this stuff later, don't worry. Maybe you'll have an insert jack after that for a compressor or a gate unit. After that, maybe you'll have a low cut. That'll get rid of all the rumble in your voice. Next is your gain, arguably one of the most important things on the mixer. This is what sets your wave right. If it's too high, then you'll start to distort and clip. If it's too low, it won't be loud enough, and when you try to raise it, it'll just give you clipping and distortion, and it will not be good. Next, on the mixer that I'm working with, the Mackie Pro FX 12V3 Plus, it has a compressor knob. What does this do? It essentially takes the loud noises and it turns them down. And it takes the quieter noises and turns them up. A very useful knob. I'll go more in depth about that later. Do not worry. Next is the EQ. I, on my Mackie, have a high, mid, and low band. Now, the band is where the frequency is. These are set bands, which means that they're set. My high is set to 12 kilohertz, 12,000 hertz. My mid is set to 2.5 kilohertz, or 2,500 hertz. And my low band is set to 80 hertz, which is pretty low. That's kind of the bass band. Now, the high really does the treble, the mid does the life of the party, and the low does that rumble. Maybe if you're in a guitar, that's the bassy part. Next, working down the chain, we have the aux section. The aux section has the monitor and the effects. These are very important if you're doing a live band. Now, what is a monitor for? A monitor is a way to monitor what you're doing. For example, you have a singer on stage and they want to listen to what they sound like. So you turn their monitor up in their ears, or maybe you have a wedge, which I'll go over later. And you turn drums down, you turn the microphone up, you do what they want so they can hear different from what's coming out of the main speakers, the L and the R. Next is the effects. Now, the effects is a very important thing if maybe you're doing a live show, or maybe you just like to add a little flair to your vocals. The effects can add reverb, it can add delay, it can add modulation, etc. I happen to have the Pro Effects version of Mackie's mixer, which means I have tons to choose from. Next is the pan knob. The pan knob is also quite important. Now, if you have a guitar and you do it through a stereo, which means there's one coming out the left side and one coming out the right side, a more immersive mix, you can pan one channel all the way to the left or another channel all the way to the right. What that'll do is it'll give you one channel that's designated to the left, one that's designated to the right, and that'll give you more immersive sound. Like in a drum cage, you can have the left pan to the left, the right to the right, etc. Next is the mute button. Pretty self-explanatory if I do say so myself. That completely mutes the signal, cutting off the chain right where it goes. Now, you can look at the signal chain and realize it's kind of working in this flow motion, coming from the top down. That means that it completely cuts the signal off there and it does not come through the main. But since the monitor is before, it'll still come through there. Pretty handy. Next is your routing buttons. On mine, I have a 1/2, which is a sub-1-2 mix. I will talk about that later. And LR. And then a PFL solo. Now, a couple things can vary here. I have a PFL. That means pre-fader listen. That means that it's going to be before the fader. I can put on a headphone set and listen to what it sounds like. Now, it might be a post-fader listen on some mixers or an after-fader listen. That'll give you the headphone sound after the fader. That can be good if you really want to dial in the mix. Dial in the mix after the headphone. Cough, cough. Now, working our way all the way to the right of the board, we have our main section. This has the FX, sub 1, 2, and the main faders. These faders control the main output. Oh, how could I have forgotten? Of course, the main mute button. The main mute button mutes the entire mix coming out. This can be good if the show is completely over and you don't want any unnecessary noise from unplugging things or anything of the sort. That's pretty much everything for one single chain. Each channel here, as they're labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, each channel is basically the same. We'll go over what the differences are later. Until then, stay tuned and enjoy.